struggling with this concept. But because we had great content, we would put our articles and stories online, and you could start to see the clicks, the likes, the shares. So at that point, we could actually prove the business model and show through our advertisers and sponsors that yes, people were reading the magazine, they were liking the magazine, they were sharing it. So again, we did that about 6 years ago. If you Google Races or Diversity magazine, you'll see the daily newspaper that pops up. All we need is your email address and your name, and you get a free subscription that ships to you daily. We focus on thought leaders from around the world. We call it the Harvard Business Review for Diversity, but we talk about the best the diversity business cases around the world. So love to have you subscribe. Again, it's free. Just a little bit about us. This is my son. This is my youngest, Austin. He is just graduated from Clemson. He's also done some graduate work out at Oklahoma. But he's come on board. He's now our vice president of our College Diversity Network Hbcu division. Austin was also part of the 2 national championship teams down at Clemson. That's his mama, and that's my wife. But Austin has come on board. He actually interned during the summers with me with the Hbcu business team. So he's been a great addition to our organization. He actually helps me with the students and the deans. Because of his access to a younger population and what's going on as far as social media, how things are being passed around campuses, and also all the deans know him. So he's been helpful, extremely helpful, as we push our jobs and opportunities out to the college diversity and the Hbcu network. A little bit about our demographics. Our demographics for a magazine, we do a lot with women's groups. We partner with Diversity Women magazine, Sit at the Table. We do a lot with companies that are looking for women to sit on their boards of directors. So that's one of our strong suits there. When companies say they can't find women, we have the ability to find a lot of highly talented women to sit on executive positions and also board of directors. One of our other biggest audiences is basically students. We post hundreds of jobs every day, early career and internships for career opportunities. We've got strong partnerships with Hispanic organizations. And now I'm also an adjunct professor at Chicago State. I'm an adjunct professor at Shaw University, and I'm a guest lecturer at a number of HBCUs around the country. And now with my association with the HBCU business deans, we have some very strong relationships with the HBCUs, the historically Black colleges and universities. About 6 years ago, we started a partnership with a group called YM Careers, or Community Brands. They are YM Careers. They're based out of Connecticut. They're the largest job board operators in the world. They operate over 3,200 job boards. So, we started to, and again, this was back with our work with HBCUs. We started to build custom branded job boards for some of the smaller HBCUs. And again, part of the power with YM Careers is that they build networked job boards. And again, like the Society of Black Engineers or the Society of Hispanic Nurses. So a lot of the associations, there's over 3,200, they actually power the job board. So some of the job boards that you see, and some of these big names that are actually have job boards, YM Careers is actually the back office that runs them. So we started to partner about 6 years ago to build a network for careers and job boards. So some of the schools, and again, this was pretty novel about 6 years ago. And again, not the bigger schools, but the smaller schools. We started to build custom job boards for universities. It was free to the university, it's free to the school, it's free to the students. But the power behind this was that some of the smaller HBCUs like Albany State, South Carolina State, Tuskegee's, North Carolina Central, the goal behind this is that for the benefit for a corporation is that if they put a job on, say, Xavier's job board, which is free to the school, free to the students, that the job would not only reside on Xavier's site, it would network on all these other job boards. So it was a power of networking. So it was a pretty good payment for a company to put it on this and get on all these other network job boards. So with this growth of these job boards, we started to see that we were able to not only get great companies to put great jobs on the board, but get it in front of students that typically wouldn't get these opportunities because they weren't at the larger schools. Now, 6 years later, this has become a really pretty powerful network, and we're pleased that we started this about 6 years ago, but today in this virtual environment, this has become a pretty powerful network. Here's an example of the College Diversity Network, and again, this is NC Central's board. Again, free to the schools, free to the students. We actually have a free resume service, but it resides on their website. But again, there's a lot of things that we do. You can see there's a lot of information that's on there. There's no charge, how to build a resume, how to search for jobs. And we post hundreds of jobs on this every day. So internships from all types of companies get posted on this. And again, this is something that we're building and continue to grow this network. The College Diversity Network, again, if you've got your phone in front of you, you can actually join and get free information. You can join by texting JOBS, J-O-B-S, to 888-339-2810. When we have career fairs, you'll be notified when opportunities pop up. So this is a quick way to sort of register. You can actually go to the College Diversity Network if you were to Google that, and you can sort of sign up online. We just need your name and email address. And here is the web address is thecollegediversitynetwork.com. But again, you can either do that via putting in your browser or just text JOBS to 888-339-2810 to join the College Diversity Network. And again, we post hundreds of internships, and now we're doing more. We're doing alumni jobs now. So it's not just early career and internships. We also have senior level jobs that we're putting on this board. This is the HBCU network that we're working with. Again, there's 111 HBCUs, 85 of them have business schools. We've expanded the network in that now in this virtual environment, we were normally in front of the business deans, but because of the virtual environment, we actually expanded this to all 111 schools. And not only are we inviting just the business deans, but we're now in front of all the presidents, the chancellors, the provosts, all the deans, the legal deans, nursing deans, legal deans, faculty, administration, and career services. So again, one of the benefits, even though COVID wasn't an overall benefit to the country, it was a benefit to us in that it allowed us to expand our network. Typically, we would just be in front of the business deans, but because of the virtual environment, we opened it up to the entire school. The power in the network is probably more around the smaller schools. As you guys are aware, if you say HBCUs to most corporations, most of them can run off the top 10, 15, 30. You know, everybody knows Howard, everybody knows the big ones. The power in this network is the other 70 that a lot of people don't even know exist. So even though we're still going to Howard, we're still going to Morgan, we're still going to Spelman, it's the other 70 that, again, most of these companies don't get the chance to get on their campus. So by bringing these job opportunities, especially to the smaller schools, we now get these opportunities in front of a lot of great students on some of these smaller campuses that they're just sort of overlooked. So we're bringing that attention, and the companies are starting to see, wow, there's some smart students on these campuses. And we're like, yeah, you just didn't know about them. But again, they're just as smart, they're just as passionate, they're just as hardworking as these other schools. They're just off the radar. So we're actually putting a lot of schools on the radar, and we're thrilled to do that. Back in February, we had our first virtual career fair, and this was pre-pandemic. This was back right before the virus started to spread throughout the country, but we had our first virtual career fair. We had it with the College Diversity Network and the HBCU Business Deans. It was February 12th. It was from 1 to 4. It was free to the students. We had 23 companies join us, and we found some amazing things that happened. So of the 111 HBCUs, 51 HBCUs attended the event, which was, for our first one, was really good. We had 45% of the business schools that participated on this event. A lot of the schools at the time, even though we advertised that to them, they said, well, Fields, this is great, but we're still going to have our career fair because, again, the country wasn't shut down at that time. So they said, we're still going to have our career fair. So these companies are coming to our campus. So this is a great idea, but we're going to have the companies come to our campus. So, tell us how it works out. What was sort of amazing is when the virus shut everything down, as you can imagine, my phone rang off the hook because the companies couldn't come to your campus. You couldn't go to the companies. So the virtual became, and you would have thought we had a crystal ball, but the virtual became the only way to make the connection. So after this event, my phone rang off the hook. Mr. Jackson, you still going to have that event because this was like the only way that this could happen. So but in spite of that, we still had 45%. We still had a great representation of HBCUs attend our first event. Another amazing thing happened, though. Even though we were promoting this to HBCUs, we had 41 other universities, students show up, even though we're promoting this to HBCUs. And again, because of my curiosity, I had to ask, you're from Brandeis University, or you're from Southern Illinois, or you're from University of Cincinnati, or one of the ones was like, you're from Eastern Oregon. I mean, there's no HBCU within 10 states of you. How did you find out about this? And even though we're promoting this to this network, and the student would say, Mr. Jackson, oh yeah, I go to Eastern Oregon, but my brother goes to Howard. So once again, this was getting socialized on networks through people that were saying, hey, this is a great opportunity, and they're passing it on to their friends and their sorority or fraternity brothers and sisters and saying, you need to be there. So we were pleasantly surprised by the number of students that showed up outside of where we were promoting it. Now, even though this was a diversity network, we had white students that participated. However, this tended to skew diverse. So this was back in February. We had our second career fair in September. And as I said, after the February event, when coronavirus hit, the phone rang off the hook. So our September event, we had 37 companies attend. It was really well attended by companies. We had 6 Federal Reserve banks. We had a really diverse number of companies that now saw this as an opportunity to get in front of great students. Remember I told you the first time we had 41 HBCUs attend. This time we had 79 of the 111 HBCUs attend the event. 70% of the HBCUs attended. What was amazing about this is that a lot of the companies, they got in front of great students from universities they never heard of. So this opened up their lens to what where these schools are, who's on these campuses, etc. So this was a pretty powerful event for these companies that were just a lot of companies that they would just go to Howard, or they would just go to Spelman, they would just go to the top 10, not realizing there's a whole bunch of other great schools and great places that you can also get talent from. So we were really pleased. The other side of this was that the other colleges and universities that showed up, this time there were 115 other universities that showed up. Same thing. Word got spread around that this was a great event. There's 37 companies there. My brother goes to Bethune-Cookman, and the word got spread. So we actually got in front of. We think this was one of the largest virtual career fairs ever. You can see there were 79 HBCUs, 115 other universities. We had 194 colleges participate across the country. Primarily being promoted to the HBCUs, but again, we had a number of students from all over. So the companies were absolutely thrilled. We had the February event, we had 891 registrants. We had 575 chats. September event, we had almost 1,000 registrations. The 895 chats, and then those were chats that companies had directly with the companies. So unlike a career fair, where you're standing in line and there's 20 people there, and you sort of hand your resume to a recruiter who may or may not read it. these were direct chats. So you actually got the name of the recruiter. You actually had a chance to talk to that person. You actually could say, hey, can I connect with you on LinkedIn? So one of the questions was, when you send in a resume, did somebody get it? You actually had the opportunity. You actually had direct contact with a recruiter for the event. So this went over extremely well. We're going to do probably twice a year. We just had one in February. We had another strong attendance. We're going to have an alumni event because companies are asking us for not only early career and internships, but they're asking us for senior folks, people that have graduated, et cetera. So we may get to a point, that we do this once a quarter. And we're hoping to grow this to maybe 50 to 100 companies, some of the big names that now can recruit in a virtual environment. So you don't have to travel anywhere. You can just do this on your phone. There's video capability, et cetera. So we're very excited about this. And we're also getting in front of those companies that are telling us they can't find folks, et cetera. So we're making it easy for the companies. We're making it easy for them to get in front of some great students. And so we're really pleased and happy about that whole thing. One of the things that we also looked at, even though we were promoting this to business majors, was the diversity of the students that showed up. And you can see in February and also in September, we had engineers. We had 50 lawyers show up. We had engineers. We had computer science majors. So even though this was being promoted to the business schools, again, another positive thing that happened, that this was getting socialized across the campus in ways we didn't account for. Positively, but we didn't account for. We had MBA students. We had again lawyers. So again, my curiosity, I had to ask, ma'am, you're in nursing. How did you find out about this? And they said, well, you know what? My chancellor, because when we were sending it to the presidents, the chancellors, and to the provost, they were sending on to their best students. So he said, Mr. Jackson, I'm one of the top students on campus. And the chancellor said, I needed to attend this. Oh, and by the way, nursing, I take accounting. So this was being socialized also not only across the campuses, but the deans, the provosts, the chancellors were sending their best students. And they're sending them from schools in places that a lot of these companies didn't even know existed. So the quality of the student was extremely high, to a point where the companies were saying, Mr. Jackson, I never heard of these companies, never heard of these schools. They've got some great students. So we need to, when we do start to travel, we need to adjust where we go and recruit talent. We just can't keep going to these same places. Why don't we go to some of these other folks that we're now starting to see the quality of the HBCU talent that's across the whole spectrum. So with that, that ends my presentation. I'm going to open it up for any questions. I guess you could. I don't see anybody on this. Okay, Renell, how would I take questions?
Yeah, if anyone has any questions, I'm going to type in the chat and I'll just filter for you there. Type in the chat. If anyone has any questions, type in the chat and I'll facilitate asking them to Mr. Jackson. So feel free to go ahead, everybody. All right, I guess we don't have any questions, Mr. Jackson. I think I guess they're all good to go.
Okay, well, I just said that folks can text to sign up. They can text jobs to 888-339-2810. we're probably going to have another career fair. We just got off the phone with the folks that run the platform, so we may have one in about a month and a half. So stay tuned. We're hoping to have about 25 financial companies. So stay tuned. We got some more jobs coming. Our goal is to get some great jobs in front of great folks that are looking for these opportunities. So Renell, as always, thank you. I appreciate the time getting in front of your audience, and I'll also
we got one question. Look like we got one question coming through now.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, but no, go ahead. Keep going.
I'll also put in my LinkedIn profile.
Okay. Yeah. Click the stage chat to the right of the backstage, and it'll go right there for them.
To the
stage
chat?
Yeah, click the stage chat. Yep. Type it there.
Did I put the 888? Oh, you put it in 888? Okay.
Yeah, I put it there for you.
Okay.
All right, Khalil, feel free to write this. Oh, this is the same Khalil that went to A&T with me. Interesting. A little younger.
Renell, I like this platform.
Yeah, it's pretty straightforward. Can hold up hold up to 100,000 people. That's what I like.
I like this. Yeah.
I was wondering. Okay, it's from Khalil. I was wondering what are some companies that are looking for environmental specialist positions?
I tell you what. We had 35 companies. I'll put the companies, and again, you can still, if you click on the companies and you sort of go through the College Diversity Network, Renell, they can sort of send a message, and I can get them because the companies are still looking. Mm-hmm. So I'll get them a couple links they can click on. Hold on, let me pull this up, and I'll put them in there.
Okay.
But if they see so I would say register for the College Diversity Network. It's free. We had a number of companies surprising, like the Federal Reserve banks would be looking for folks like that. I was blown away by what they do at the Fed. I had no idea what they do at the Federal Reserve Bank, but they do a lot of stuff in the community. They just do a lot of things. So let me see. I'll find a couple of these links and I'll get it in there. Hold on.
Hey, Khalil. Also, too, I'm trying to help Mr. Jackson get World Wildlife Fund through his network. So send me an email and I'll connect you with somebody there that's on the recruitment team. That's the top company that comes to my head, top agency. Yeah. Send me an email, Khalil. But yeah, definitely register on College Diversity Network. Mr. Jackson's probably going to definitely have some companies or some people that know other HR professionals that have that specific position, right? So yeah, definitely connect with him on LinkedIn too. That would be great.
Hopefully, I got it. I'm finding these links now, Bruno. So. Okay, this should be here. Okay. Let me get you these. Okay, I found one. Okay. Put it in the backstage.
Put it in the stage chat.
You can click on that and you'll see the 37 companies that were there, and they're pretty diverse. But again, the recruiters are there; they're still active. So if you take a look and again, if you sign up for the College Diversity Network, we post hundreds of jobs every day. So you'll see jobs in there. You can actually go in there and do a keyword search or search for a job. If you find something, apply, and then just hit me up on LinkedIn and say, hey, Mr. Jackson, I just applied for this, and I'll make sure we send Khalil will send your name over to the recruiter. That way, you know what, can't guarantee the job, but I can guarantee somebody's going to look at your, just won't go in a box, right? Mm-hmm. I can guarantee that somebody's going to look at it, okay? And then hopefully you get some feedback as to if you get the job, great, but if you don't, the reasons why. That way you can sort of, you know, get better the next time around. So.
Definitely. Thank you, Mr. Jackson, for sharing that. Happy and honored again to have you tonight. We're here with us. Thank you. He said thank you so much too, Khalil.
I see it, yeah. And just, Khalil, connect with me on LinkedIn, and let's see if we can, we got a couple jobs coming up. And if you see a company, and some of the companies are household names, some of them just, you know, Google the company, because some of these companies are just doing some amazing things. And you just don't know. So you probably got a better opportunity to get a job at one of the smaller places that, you know, there's great money, great pay. But they've come to us because they're looking for diverse talent, if that makes sense. They wanna get these opportunities in front of a diverse audience. So if you see a couple of companies, send me a note. We'll get you in front of the recruiters, and again, we'll get you in front of the right folks.
Definitely. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Jackson. Thank you for your time. You're free to go. I'm gonna go ahead and close.
My pleasure.
All right. Bye now.
All right. See ya.
All right, everybody. Thank you once again for your time. It's been a great past 2 days. Please spread the word. Please follow HBCU Startups, you know, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn. Follow us, stay up to date on things that are happening. We will try to take some time to pull a lot of the presentations from today and put them on our YouTube channel. So some of these platforms have been recorded, but look out for this information later. Connect with people, and I hope you really network the past 2 days. Stay up to date. Look for some emails for some upcoming events that we'll have. We'll probably have a few more webinars. Online's the best, so all of us can stay safe during this time. So be on the lookout for updates. Follow the pages to stay up to date with things that are happening, information, resources that we give out for our startups, upcoming events, and as always, supporting businesses within our community. So thank you for your time. Feel free to reach out if you guys have any questions. Thank you, and definitely connect over the next hour. Go visit the businesses, follow their websites, send them business. It will mean a lot. Thank you to all of our wonderful sponsors. Thank you to our net, our host, Tina, Sylviana, our moderators, all of our speakers. I appreciate your time. All of family, supporters, friends. Thank you for showing up, and all my HBCU family. I love you. Thank you, and have a great weekend. Bye now.